In today's study, we're going to be looking over the idea of rewards. How do we earn them, or do we earn them? We could even talk about rewards, what they are. I mean, we often get confused about that, and really, that could just be a whole nother study, so I better watch myself. But for today's purposes, we're going to just talk about, do we earn those rewards, and how do we earn those rewards? Because in our society, we are built on the idea of effectiveness, how much you produce, how much you are good at what you do, and how effective your efforts are. And because of that, in many ways, we work on work-based. This isn't just capitalism. This is just everywhere in human culture. We need, to be effective. If you're going to eat, a farmer actually has to produce a crop. If you're going to make money, you actually have to produce something that someone's willing to pay for. Even though our culture more and more is wanting to reward based on just sentimentality and feelings, there's actually some truth in that. Not the sentiment and feelings, but rewarding based on something other than effectiveness. Because when we come to God, we think, well, I got to be effective. I got to be fruitful. I got to do this or that or else. When the reality is, God doesn't reward us based on how effective we are. He wants us to be fruitful. He wants us to produce good things. It's not that He's looking to not make us fruitful. But if He were to reward us based on our effectiveness, how fruitful we are, it would just kind of be a silly proposition in one sense, because you and I cannot be fruitful. You and I are not good. You and I are not capable of being powerful or being effective in others' lives, in this world, or anything at all. We literally are incapable of doing anything apart from the Lord. So He has to, by His grace, and I want to emphasize that it's by grace that the Lord gives us rewards on this. This is not us really, I'll just give it away. We don't earn our rewards, because if we were to think, oh, I'm going to do this or that and God will have to reward me because, man, I'm worth it, that's already foolishness. So we don't earn rewards. But how is it that God has us participate to where He gives us rewards based on something besides just my good looks? I'm going to be poor. But no, he does it more than just my sentimentality, what I want. He actually rewards us based on effort, not effectiveness, because effectiveness belongs to God. He is the one who actually makes us fruitful. The scriptures are just full of that. Throughout every book in the Bible, really, you'll find some kind of reference to how God is sovereign, God is powerful, and we're not. And so when we start to think through, though, well, but in my relationship with Him, even by His grace, how is it that one will be rewarded differently than another? How is it that some lose rewards and others gain rewards? It really comes down to not how effective you are, how fruitful you are, how successful you are. I mean, those are human type thinking, because we still work on a horizontal scale of who produces this or that, who's more entertaining, who speaks better, who lifts more weight, who has a better strategy, and people either rise to the top or fall, generally speaking, on merit. We have no merit before the Lord. We have no ability before the Lord, because everything we would even try to accomplish, He does for us. And so it's by His power, it's by His strength, it's by His grace that we are effective in any sort of way. But the question comes down to, then how is it that He rewards? And it is by that effort, not by effectiveness, by effort. In 1 Corinthians chapter 3, he talks about how we're nothing, really. And in verse 7 it says, so neither he who plants nor he who waters is anything, but only God who makes things grow. Ask any farmer. He doesn't sit out there watching the crop going, grow, grow, and suddenly the corn starts to grow up. He waters, he fertilizes, he tends to it, but really it's out of his hands. He can make the effort, but it depends on maybe the rain. I mean, even irrigation, it depends on how much snow fell in the mountains here in Colorado. Water lines being built. I mean, there's so much that goes in that is out of a farmer's hands, that all he could do is make the effort. but there's bugs, there's all kinds of factors that can kill a crop, all kinds of things that can destroy it that are completely out of his control. The only thing he has been given control over, in one sense, is self-control, is the ability to make an effort. And that's why he says in verse 8 here, the man who plants and the man who waters have one purpose, and each will be rewarded according to his own fruitfulness. No. That's why you always want to look it up in the Word. You always want to look it up. But it actually says each one will be rewarded according to his own labor, his own effort, the amount of work he puts into it, not how good he is, not how effective he is. In some ways, you could say in God's economy, if you work stupid and yet work with all your heart to the Lord, he's going to reward that more than a person who works smart and works in arrogance and works on self-reliance and thinks he's something. Because it really is about the heart. Someone who's half-hearted, someone who's full of themselves, God is not pleased with. But someone who is simple, someone who just continues to make the effort, trusting the Lord. If his acts are prompted by faith, his acts are prompted by love for the Lord and others, then those are the kind of things that God is going to note, and he counts as precious. He values that, just like he values the wife who is gentle and meek, who makes her beauty out of her character rather than her outward appearance. It's that attitude, it's the heart that God looks at, not the outward appearance. And so when he rewards us, if he were to reward us on how effective we are, he's basically rewarding us on how much he does for us. Whereas when he rewards us on our effort, it's really based on the scale of how responsive we are to his grace. It's still grace. I mean, I can't live, move, or I can't be without him. So, I mean, there's nothing where I can boast before the Lord going, well, I made a ton of efforts. Like, yeah, you only made the effort because you exist, and you only exist because I made you. Yeah, but I made it. Yeah, we're never going to be able to boast before the Lord. But when we come down to the effort, though, this is about participation in the Lord. This is about responsiveness to God. When we make the effort, it's trusting God. It's fearing God. It's loving God. It's loving others because of what God has done for us. This is what he rewards on, because we've all been given talent, and I'm not talking about like, you can play a really great instrument. I'm talking about the wealth or the prizes or the abilities that God has given us, as he talks about in Matthew 25, of the stewardship that he's given us. How do we respond to that? If we make the effort, God blesses. If we don't make the effort, we're a wicked, lazy servant. And so we really have to look at the idea of these rewards and humble ourselves, going, you know what? Any effectiveness that I have, it's to the praise of God. And any ineffectiveness I have to look at it and go, well, did I respond to God? And if I did, and it's still ineffective, well, the Lord gives, the Lord takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. It's so in a lot of ways, a lot of responsibility is taken off our shoulders, and a lot of hardship and pressures off when we go, you know what? I just need to be thankful. And I need to be responsive. I need to make that effort, because that's what pleases the Lord. That's what he really loves, because he reached out to us. And if we respond and reach out to him, it's not that we've earned our spot in heaven. He first loved us. But if we don't respond and we kick back at him, or we become lazy or apathetic, or we become fearful, we don't want to look stupid, so we don't try, or we don't want to fail and have someone else look at us and go, well, you tried, but we don't want to do that. So whoa, when you start going down that path, you're not responding to God, you're responding to other things. You're not trusting God, you're trying to entrust to yourself. I'm going to protect me. You're relying not on yours or his strength, but on your strength. That's where God is pleased in faith, because effort is actually a fruit of faith. It's you believe God, and so you speak. You believe God, so you act. You believe God, so you obey. It's not the effectiveness, because oftentimes even Christ in Isaiah, in the prophecy about him, said, everything I've done has come to nothing, and I've spent my strength in vain. He goes, but my reward is in his hands. There's so much that we do that really, in our eyes, is meaningless, purposeless, useless. And yet, if it's done in faith, if it's done for the Lord, he makes use of it. He puts it to fruitfulness. Maybe not in the ways we see, not in the ways we would anticipate, but he does that because he loves to make us fruitful. He makes us fruitful. but he rewards us in that fruitfulness, in that effort, not because we're anything, but because he's everything. And it shows us once again that we get the chance to participate in what he's doing. And if we share in his work, we share in his glory. If we share in his suffering, we share in his blessing. So this is all about participating with the Lord. That's what the effort is we're responding to God by his grace to us. And as we respond, he is pleased. So hopefully that doesn't confuse it. Maybe the discussion questions and the verses coupled with that you'll find in the description of this video will help you even further. So hopefully you'll take this time to discuss with each other, just to think on this and to meditate on what God has done and how we should make an effort and trust him for the results, knowing that one way or the other, God is pleased if we just respond to his grace and make the effort. The fruitfulness will come by his hand either way. So, hey, love you guys. Hope this is a blessing. And hey, I guess I'll just continue to make this effort. Thanks. Love you.